Hey, how's it going everybody? So in this video we're going to be talking about leveling and ascensions, basically what to do with all those 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, even 4-star heroes that you end up with doing your summons. I've seen a lot of comments on my Gemstone Legends videos of people expressing confusion around this, and I feel like what I'm trying to do with my videos is to make the confusing bits as simple as possible so you can have more fun with the game. So in this video I'm going to show you what to do with all of those extra heroes that you end up with, as well as 2 great farming strategies to get the most XP in the shortest amount of time so you can level up those key heroes that you're really excited about. If you haven't checked out Gemstone Legends yet, it is a really good time right now. They've just updated my promo code to include a really good 4-star healer, so that way you have a guaranteed good starting hero. And it's really important to have a good healer, and Elidor is a great healer. Plus, if you end up not needing him so much later in the game, he gives you a head start towards the Guinevere fusion that we talked about in another video of mine. Additionally, right from the point you start, they've added new beginner events. So in the first 2 days, there's one event where you can get Soliana, who is an epic 4-star healer, and she has AoE damage and burn damage, and I use her a lot and really like her a lot. Additionally, you can get 6 legendary 5-star artifacts from the caster set, which you can normally only get for fighting high-level raid bosses, and even still the legendary is not a guaranteed aspect. And I don't even have 6 5-star legendary artifacts from the caster set, so that is a really good piece to get from the beginning as well. The caster set is most similar to Mana Troops, where it boosts the mana generation and it takes fewer tiles to charge your heroes, so a great way to start, and a really good set to potentially put on your carry hero that we're going to talk about in one of the farming strategies later in the video. Additionally, you can get 1 platinum scroll, which gives you a guaranteed epic hero and like an 8% chance at a legendary hero. So those are normally decently hard to get in the game, and you can get all of that stuff within the first week of joining, which is a far better start than I had in the game. So yeah, great offer right now. Check those things out. There's a download link in the description along with the promo code. You're going to download the game, finish the tutorial. Within 3 hours of completing the tutorial, within 3 hours of downloading the game after completing the tutorial, you're going to enter the code #Spock_2021 in the global chat, which is at the bottom of the screen. When you're in your base, enter that code, you'll get your stuff. The beginner events will be there. Do the challenges required for those beginner events, and you'll get a guaranteed at least 3 epic heroes, maybe 2 epics and 1 legendary if you're lucky. And yeah, that legendary artifact set, and you'll be off to a very good start. So they recently just made this promo even better, so if you haven't tried yet, be sure to check it out. So when I first started this game, I was confused by the leveling system and what to do with certain heroes, and that was the impression that I got from reading comments of other new players as well, as like, this is different, this is kind of confusing, I need some tips to help make sense of this. So at first, if you use my code, you'll end up with a bunch of heroes in your inbox probably. I forget how large the roster space is at first, but I recommend spending some gems and coins, whichever it is, to upgrade those. But you'll end up with a bunch of heroes in here, and you're probably thinking, I don't know what these heroes are good for, I don't know who I should level up. Some of that you'll just have to look through what you have and see if it seems good. But yeah, that's sort of a different story. There's a few standout heroes. If you look at the arena, for example, and you look at the ranking, you can see like this top team. There's a rare hero, Ultan. Here's another one, Prodan. So those are 2 rare heroes, 3-star heroes that you end up seeing on a lot of teams. Richard is a popular one. He's a healer. Another Prodan. We have some epics up here, and these are all the top teams. So there are plenty of good rare heroes that you'll want to use, but if you look through here, you can get some ideas of who you might want to prioritize. But the things to think about, unlike Empires and Puzzles where you're using heroes exclusively to feed other heroes, your 1 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, sometimes 4 stars, sometimes even 5 stars, they have no value besides giving XP to other heroes. However, in this game, you have a training camp where you can add XP directly to a given hero, and you can gain XP from playing the campaign stages, which allow you to level up your heroes as well. And that's going to be one of the main leveling strategies that we're going to talk about shortly. So, with your heroes, you want to use them for ascensions and not for leveling. So you can see I've got a duplicate here. So pretty much I don't really understand which of these heroes I may want to keep and which of them I may want to not keep. So what I do is periodically I'll just pull a bunch of them in from my inbox, and then I will use duplicates to ascend heroes that I'm working on ascending. So you can see that right here is one that I've leveled up to 4 stars who was a 3-star hero that I'll use for ascensions. You can see these ones right here are in the training camp now that are getting ascended. So that's that little symbol that appears on those 3 heroes in a row in that center row. But those are going to be heroes that I'm going to ascend to either just 4 stars or maybe even 5 stars to use for ascensions. So if I go to a hero like Guinevere, for example, and I click Ascension, you can see it's going to take 5 different things to ascend her to 6 stars. So I can use some of these 5-star cauldrons, which are the one and only ascension item in this game. So you can use these. You can use these with a combination of heroes. It's totally up to you. But the point is, if you grind it out and level up, 1-star heroes up to 5 stars or 3 stars up to 5 stars, whatever it may be, you can use those for ascension. So you don't have to wait on costly ascension items. And the same is true for 3 stars. If I want to go and level up this 3-star or ascend him, well, his level's not all the way up. Let me see if I have a maxed one. I don't, but if we look at the 4 stars, it takes 4. 3 stars take 3 ascension items, 2 stars take 2, and so on. So you're going to want to save those for ascension, use your duplicates. And now let's talk about, hopefully that makes sense. If there are any questions or if there's any confusion around that, leave it in the comments below and I'll add an answer there for you. But let's talk about a few strategies for leveling up heroes outside the training camp, either that you want to use as feeders for ascension or that are heroes you want to use for playing the game. Okay, so a core part of this game, as you might imagine, is playing through these map stages. So these are kind of like provinces and empires and puzzles. You can see a little description of what the enemies are going to be, etc., etc. So one way you can level up heroes is just by playing through the campaign. So if you equip the best heroes that you have and you go through and you try to beat these stages, you try to play them again to get 3 stars on them, which means that you can only use 3 heroes on your team. Any of those things are going to gain XP for your heroes. The fewer heroes on your team and the more XP that they gain individually, it's sort of like a core amount that'll be divided between the members of that team. But you can level up heroes just by playing through these stages. You can see I haven't gone through and gotten 3 stars on all of these yet, but you also don't need to complete them. And then once that finishes, you can do the same thing, but with the harder difficulty, which I've gone through today and burned through a bunch of extra energy that I have to get through these. And if you're not using maxed heroes, then you are leveling up the whole way you go. Another alternate to that is you can use your multi-battles, or you can just use the auto farming to go to maybe the hardest stage that you can play with the heroes that you're wanting to level up, and just repeat that stage over and over, while you're doing something else to gain XP for those heroes. So as we talked about in another video that I did for Gemstone Legends, the color is really important. So if you're trying to level up, I would recommend trying to level heroes of a similar color. Because like on this stage, for example, Well, that's a bad example because purple is also strong to yellow, but let's go to one that I know to be a certain way. So this one is all green enemies. So this is a great place to come and level up your red heroes if you're able to complete this stage by auto farming it. You'll have a color advantage because special attacks and gemstone attacks on the weaker color, red against green, do extra damage, and then their special attacks and gemstone attacks on you will do lowered damage because green into red is weak. So think about the color stuff as you're going through these, but I recommend just finding the hardest stage that you can auto farm with the team of heroes that you're wanting to level up, early on, and just go through your energy. They're very generous with the energy in this game, especially when you're starting out. So you can get a lot of XP in a short amount of time, and you can have other heroes in your training camps at the same time leveling up. So you'll need to do a combination of these things so that you can quickly do ascensions for those first, 2 or 3 star heroes that you're wanting to level up. And once you get to a certain point, like myself, who doesn't have a huge roster but has a decent amount of maxed heroes, only some that I've ascended to epics that I've ascended to 5 stars, and only some rares that I've ascended to 4 stars. So I haven't gone super far yet. But I have a bunch of heroes to choose from in a bunch of different colors, and that allows me to play through a lot of different aspects of the game. So once you get to this point, I think what you want to start doing is focusing on leveling up heroes for ascensions, which is a little bit different, and so that's what we're going to talk about here next. Leveling heroes for ascension can be done in the training camp, and it can also be done in the map stages. So this is why I spent a while today beating it on Nightmare so that I could get to Hell mode, because this will give you the most XP. So I got myself to this point and to this green stage. So the strategy that you'll be using here is called the 4+1 or the 1+4 XP farming method. I'll link another video in the description from the Gemstone Legends YouTube channel, which explains this as well. So maybe that the redundancy will help it make sense if it doesn't make sense right away. But the idea is that on this team, you're going to have 1 hero that's carrying and 4 heroes that are being leveled. So this is a green, these are green enemies here. You want to avoid stages with bosses and fight only ones with enemies. And what you want is a really strong AoE type hero with a color advantage. So if I'm using Premislav, he has AoE damage, so deals damage based on attack to all enemies, 100% chance to inflict mana choke, which is kind of like reduced mana generation. Recovers 5% HP whenever he kills an enemy, so that gives him a little bit of survivability. And a 20% chance to use his special ability whenever taking damage. So just getting hit by the opponents can let him fire his special, slow down their mana, and potentially kill them, potentially heal himself. So this hero can be created in the fusion section of the altar. So if we go to fusions, you can see Premislav is here. So you'll need these 4 heroes that you can see along the top. And once you get those heroes and you ascend them, you can get Premislav, who is an epic. You'll need to level him up, so it takes a bit of time. I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, but what you want in this method is 1 type of carry hero like this. And then what you would do is you would add your feeder heroes to this team, because no matter whether they survive or not, they will gain XP. So you can just throw any 2 stars, 3 stars, whatever. And then basically, wrong hero. Basically, Premislav is going to win the battle himself, and then these other heroes are going to benefit from that and gain XP. So you can have your training camps going, and you can just be farming with this 4+1 method, where 1 hero who is strongly leveled up, has high speed, good equipment, so you really want to outfit this hero well so that you can guarantee that they win every single time. And it shouldn't take long. If you've done this right and you're not farming a stage that's too hard, this should only take, I don't know, sometimes 15 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that. So you can use your multi-battles for this. If you have Gemstone Prime, you can get additional multi-battles. You can just farm through it on the auto farm. And if you use the XP boost, so Gemstone Prime gives you a 20% boost to hero XP from battles, so that helps out a lot. And then if you have one of these XP boosts, which you can earn as rewards from different quests. So for example, maybe it's a weekly quest. So right here, this all daily quests 7 times, you can see there's that little XP badge. And this gives you 24 hours of boosted XP from battles. So if you have those, they'll go to your inbox. One tip there is as soon as you claim them, they're active. So don't claim multiple at the same time or you'll just be wasting them. So they're basically going to live in your inbox. They only last for maybe 7 days, so you'll want to kind of stay on top of what you have and when you're going to use it. And only claim them one at a time. I definitely made that mistake and probably wasted, I don't know, 5 of them or something. Not knowing what I was doing, thinking they would go to a separate inventory somewhere. So yeah, that is the best method. That's kind of the later game thing where what you really need are ascensions. You can use cauldrons if you have them. There's no reason to save them unless you are the kind of person who, when you get a new hero, want to be able to level it immediately. But you can also start to store some of these ascender feeders as you level them up. If you don't have any good leveling projects, you can go in here. If you click on the storage button, it'll let you select heroes to add to your storage. And the space of your storage can be increased as well, depending on how much roster space you have in here. So those are basically your main methods for leveling up, and that's kind of how the system works. Hopefully that gives you a clear idea of the strategy that you should be thinking about. At this point, we don't have Guild Wars in the game yet, and no one's really sure what that's going to look like. So it may very well be different than Empires and Puzzles, where you're not going to need 6 teams of heroes. I've been playing this game for, I don't know, 4 months, maybe 3-4 months, and I would not have 6 full teams of heroes yet. So it might be different than that. At this point, I am saving all of my epic duplicates in my storage space, and I'm using rare duplicates for ascensions. Like you can see, Ogloff, I have 2 of him, so that would be one that I would use for a 3-star ascension. Some of these 3 stars can be good, so it's not wise to get rid of all of them before you really know what's what and who you want to keep. Like we looked at before, there's a few standouts like Ulton, and he can be a good carry as well. You can ascend him to 5 stars or 6 stars, and he's going to deal defense down to everyone first, and then he deals damage based on HP. So you can boost his HP up, make him super tanky and survivable, and he's going to deal high damage based on that HP stat, which is often like 10 times as high as the other attack or defense stats. Additionally, his accuracy for placing that defense down is increased by 5% for every 3,500 HP. So once you ascend him to 4 and 5 stars, that'll start to become a factor. You can also equip equipment from the life set, which boosts his HP. That will help contribute to survivability, as well as him dealing higher damage. So you want to find one of these carry type heroes that you can use, outfit them well based on what their unique characteristics are, and then find a stage that you can have the color advantage in. So for him, you'd want to find a stage of all red enemies, and find basically the hardest one that you can reliably complete every time, and then just farm that over and over while you level up your heroes for ascensions, or level up heroes, new heroes that you want to be able to use and have on your team. And those are kind of the main methods. So I just learned about this 4+1 leveling method, and that's why I'd only been farming the Rift, and that's why I burned through a bunch of energy in the main campaign to get to hell mode so that I can use Premislav on this stage. Probably I'll have to see how difficult it is and whether, he should be ascended to 6 stars. But the idea is once you have that really strong carry hero and you can farm really difficult stages with that hero by themselves, you'll be able to work on these other ascensions that much faster, and that will kind of speed up your progress. So there's a little bit of investment up front into developing that carry hero for farming, and then it's going to pay dividends back to you over time as you use them to accrue ascensions and or accrue XP for other heroes, which equals ascensions for additional heroes. So I don't want to make this video too long. I'm trying to cover this and be as thorough as I can, because I know that it can feel a little confusing, and my excitement or redundancy perhaps is based on wanting to help you guys understand what this system is, because I think once it makes sense and it's sort of demystified, because it is different than Empires and Puzzles, it doesn't get in the way of the fun. I feel like once you know what's going on, it's a lot easier to have fun, and that's what I'm trying to help you guys do, is to demystify some of the complexities of this game and how it's different to other games you might be familiar with, and let you get back to having fun and being efficient and leveling up and getting all those great heroes that you want to use ready for battle. So any remaining questions that you have, throw those in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. This video should just continue right into a playlist of Gemstone Legends videos, so feel free to keep watching if you want to catch those videos. And then, like I mentioned before, down in the description is the download link. Click that link, download the game, finish the tutorial. That should take you about 15 minutes, and then within 3 hours of finishing that tutorial, you are going to enter the code #Spock_2021 to get your starter bundle and get off to the right start. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.